Hi, Dre again, and I am a filthy casual. But recently, I now understand why gamers like these kinds of games, games like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Sekiro, all that kind of shit. Anyway, recently I've been playing a lot of Bloodborne and I can't get enough of it. I should also mention this is my very first From Software game that I own, and before I played Bloodborne, I used to watch my college friends play Dark Souls in their laptops while waiting for the next class to start. But then in 2017, an old schoolmate of mine suggested I play Bloodborne, but I was too afraid and I don't like rage-inducing games. And of course I have anger issues and I don't like getting angry. Then, later that same year, Bloodborne is available to download for PS Plus subscribers, and I happened to be a subscriber at the time, so I hoarded it to my library and never bothered to play it until earlier this year. I'm always used to games where you're the badass hero who always saves the day, but in Bloodborne, it's the exact opposite. You are at the bottom of the food chain. Every enemy you encounter is stronger than you, and everything in this game wants to kill you. It's cruel, it's unforgiving, it's brutal, and you will die. Like, a lot. Holy shit, I'm actually winning. Of course. Shit. But that doesn't mean the game is bad. As a matter of fact, the difficulty of these kinds of games is what actually makes it special. One of the things I like about this game is that it's hard, but fair. Well, for the most part. Each death is a lesson and encourages you to learn from your mistakes, and it motivates you to get better. So that's where get good comes from. Each death is a lesson and encourages you to learn from your mistakes, and it motivates you to actually get better. As you defeat each boss, you can actually feel that you're getting good at this, and that is what got me so hooked to this game. Each boss you defeat feels so rewarding that it makes you want to go search for the next one. Unlike how I see my friends play Dark Souls, this game encourages you to get in the fight and be aggressive. You have to let go your fear of failure and get in there, because this game punishes players who are keeping a safe distance from the fight. Like, for example, holy shit, that's a lot of damage. The boss battles are extremely tough. Well, most of them. And there are no known exploits according to other players, but correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said before, aggression wins fights, but don't be reckless because the bosses in this game also punish players who are greedy in landing hits. Now, one of my major gripes with the bosses is that some of them have broken hitboxes, which can lead to a lot of rage-inducing deaths, and some of the bosses can even hit you through walls, like the Shadows of Yharnam boss fight, for example. But what I hate about the bosses in this game is that they can still kill you with projectiles even after you deplete its life bar, like what I'm about to show you. Fuck. The hell? For my minor issues, well, some of the boss arenas are too small, like the Chalice Dungeon arenas for example, and oh my god, the camera can be a pain in the ass sometimes when engaging fights. My last issue is that the insta-kill attacks of some bosses have nearly perfect tracking, which makes dodging extremely difficult in some fights, which leads to my frustration, but hey, that's just me. Now, if you're gonna ask me what my favorite boss fight is in this game, it would have to be with Father Gascoigne, aka the Noob Slayer, because he is the reason why 54% of the player base abandoned the game. No, seriously, I mean, look. 54% abandoned the game. He is dubbed the Noob Slayer for a reason, and this boss fulfilled its purpose, but if you manage to beat him, then you can definitely beat this game. My second favorite boss fight is with Lady Maria from the Old Hunters DLC, and the reason why I love this fight is that it feels like you're dancing with death herself, and the adrenaline rush you get as you exchange blows while dodging her attacks felt invigorating. I also like how the game feels like a horror game. It's not classified as one, but because of how well the game invigorates the constant sense of dread and danger, it makes the game very scary. The atmosphere, the gothic architecture, the use of lighting, the memorable soundtrack, and the H.P. Lovecraft-inspired monsters is what makes the game so horrific, and this game is actually scarier than most horror titles I've played. As for the story, well, like all FromSoft games, the story is very vague and is open to interpretation, and you may want to go through multiple walkthroughs to understand the story better because you're going to need like, I don't know, a 200 IQ for that, but hey, if you have a negative 200 IQ like me, you can always look up the story over the internet, but I recommend going to this YouTube channel called Vati Vidya and watch how he explains Bloodborne's story. But boss battles are not the only thing that this game offers. A lot of players miss this, but there are actually hidden side quests in the game, like looking for survivors, killing hunters that have gone mad, and even searching for a little girl's mother.
Who are you? I don't know your voice, but I know that smell. Are you a hunter? Please will you look for my mum? Daddy never came back from the hunt, and she went to find him. But now she's gone too. I'm all alone and scared. Really? Oh, thank you. My mum wears a red jeweled brooch. It's so big and beautiful. You won't miss it. Oh, I mustn't forget. If you find my mum, give her this music box. It plays one of Daddy's favourite songs, and when Daddy forgets us, we play it for him so he remembers. Mum's so silly running off without it.
Oof. Yep, that's the mom, alright. Oh, okay, Viola and Gascoigne, huh? This is going to be awkward. Okay, kid, I got good news for you. The good news is I found your mom. The better news is I found your dad. But the best news is you're officially an orphan. So yeah, you'll find additional content by exploring the game and backtracking to certain locations to find hidden quest lines, and maybe some items to aid you in your journey. With that out of the way, now let's talk about weapons. Bloodborne's got a lot of weapons, and I mean a lot. My favorite weapons in the game are the Saw Cleaver and the Saw Spear, not because they are the most balanced weapons in the game, but because of the sound it makes.
Yeah, boy.
My next favorite is the Chikage. I know everyone likes Ludwig's Holy Blade, but the Chikage just has more style, you know? I also like the Stake Diver for obvious reasons.
Welcome! Punch!
And my most favorite weapon is the Burial Blade. It's big, has good damage, decent reach, and it's one of the coolest looking weapons in the base game. It's no easy task getting this weapon though. You have to defeat German, the first hunter, to get this weapon. Okay, let's do this. Come on, oh, fuck, no, okay. Come on, let's do, oh shit, fuck, okay, come on, denied, bitch. Fuck off. Yeet. Oh, first try, asshole. Oh, you're not so tough after all, As for the DLC weapons, my favorite has got to be the Rakuyo because it's like the Chikage but with a good crowd control moveset, and I also like the Church Prick because it kinda reminds me of the Burial Blade from the base game and the Great Scythe from Dark Souls. This game has a lot of clothing options too. Like, this game has a variety of Victorian era clothes to customize your character. Some clothes are weird, some are ridiculous, some are just impractical, some will make you look like a pedophile, and there are others that are just right. And thankfully, you can get the most fashionable clothes at the beginning of the game. The standard hunter's garb is my favorite outfit in the base game, by the way. You can unlock additional clothes either by exploring, purchasing them from the messengers, or unlocking them by killing other enemy hunters to make your hunter the cutest mass murderer in all the city of Yarnum. And speaking of customization, this game features RPG elements, so it's best that you concentrate on certain skills and make your own build. I try to go for a jack of all trades, master of none build, but it's not recommended, so I suggest you concentrate on the skills you want to use for your character. Other than weapons, clothes, boss fights, and a lot of dying, this game has a lot of the word blood in its items, like a lot of items related to blood. We got blood vials, blood dregs, blood gems, blood stones, blood rocks, blood cocktails, beast blood pellets, and we even got a weapon called the blood letter. Other than that, we got Cold Blood Dew, Frenzied Cold Blood, Great One Cold Blood Flower, Bloodshot Eyeball, Blood Echoes, Blood Tinge, Ritual Blood, Asefka's Blood, Adela's Blood, Ariana's Blood, Adeline's Blood. Hell, we even got a boss called the Blood-Starved Beast and the Bloodletting Beast. Well, if that's not enough for you, we got a literal river of blood in the DLC, and a blood moon if you get far enough in the game. So yeah, this game's got so much blood, I bet it will make Dracula orgasm or something. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, if you're struggling to fight the bosses in this game, well, have no fear, because you can also play this game with your friends, if you have any, via co-op, or you can play PvP if you're into that kind of thing. Personally, I've only experienced PvP only once. It seems no one wants to invade my game session for some reason, and as for co-op, I haven't experienced that yet since, well, I have no friends that play Bloodborne. Well, that's all I have to say about Bloodborne. This game is really hard to recommend to other casual gamers, but if you want a challenge and if you're a masochist like me, then, well, go ahead and buy it and play it. Anyway, this video is long enough, so I'll see you when I see you. Take care. Now with this done, time for a new adventure.